I went into episode 37 thinking I'm going to absolutely hate this, but boy was I wrong. This episode delivered on every level to which I expected, and also I didn't expect. It cemented Mimi as this not fearless leader, but a calculated capitalist. She went from matriarch to capitalist very, very fast, and it made sense. Everything about Mimi's actions made sense. And if you look at it from an outside perspective, you'd think, okay, it's a bit ridiculous. What's going on here? Or maybe they're just doing it for the jokes or for the comedic aspect. And that's true. They are doing this for the more light-hearted comedic aspects, but it made sense with her character. Mimi loves to treat people equally and right. And that doesn't extend to just people. It extends to Digimon. I guess it extends to Digimon first. And from this treatment of Digimon, she's going to now learn how to treat people really well. This episode, this Mimi-centric episode, was not her development for the digital world. It's her development for the future. If she were to be a president of her own company or run a company, this is her training, and it worked so well. So why did I expect to hate this episode? Well, even the first minute of this episode, where they were given the narrator's little flashback or narration, they said, oh, while Sora, TK, Tai and Kari were fighting it out, Mimi was somehow having fun. And I was thinking, oh, come on, Mimi. Stop being a stupid little girl. Why aren't you getting serious? We've come to the point in the story where more than 35 episodes in. The stakes are high. Why are you messing around? But then we find out why Mimi was occupied or supposedly having fun. She was trying to liberate a bunch of Gotsumon who were forced into slave labor, essentially, to mine out rare gemstones, ruby, emerald, sapphire, diamond. And Mimi was incensed. She was absolutely infuriated. She wanted to liberate them, but with every noble gesture, with every noble motive, she had this secondary, very capitalist, okay, this is how we're going to move forward. And that's where the comedy came in. And it worked. It didn't take away from the story. It didn't take away from her motive. I loved it. It was really, really well done. Now, there were a few things which I was like, okay, are you serious? But they tried their best to justify it. They tried their best to kind of pad it. And there is one major negative or one major fault that resulted from this episode, but I'll talk about this at the end of this review. So I liked how Tai and Agumon were trying to get and accumulate a bunch of food to then give it to the rest when they meet up. And as Agumon was trying to get food, they fall into the river. Sora tries to help. Bioman follows, and then they go up the river, and then they get lost. So TK and Kari and Izzy are on their own. I was thinking, oh mate, are they gonna separate again? Are they really gonna separate? But they didn't. I'm hoping they don't, and they reunite very, very soon because they were in communication with the Digivice. But one thing I didn't like is they went down the river for a bit, and then the first person they meet is essentially Mimi. So she was that close. Why on earth could they not have reunited before? Why on earth? It just felt a bit, okay, it felt a bit stupid. It was a bit not so believable. But as soon as you go past that, it's a great episode, with Mimi even assigning the two employee numbers to both Sora and Tai, and it's the same employee numbers from the first appearance in Digimon 2020. This wasn't a Mimi episode. This was a Mimi episode part 2. From the Mimi's Kingdom in the first cluster of episodes to this one here. The first time, Mimi's Kingdom, all of her followers were a bunch of babies. In this one, all of her followers, all of her employees were a bunch of champion level Digimon. So the third, or the rule of 3, will we see a bunch of ultimate level Digimon following Mimi's orders, and that's the evolution of Mimi's army? I don't know. Do you think that's going to happen? I think that's going to happen. I'm hoping that's going to happen. But we meet Golemon, and I love the way they showed Golemon and Togemon's little battle. The art style is just so well done, and it's just so nice to see, and it's very easy. It's like a little slideshow, but it told us everything about the fight between Golemon and Togemon so efficiently. But one thing I did find a bit peculiar is Golemon can talk. Now, what is the rule for Digimon talking? Can every Digimon talk? Does every Digimon have the ability to utter speech? And when they're writing it, do they just think, okay, yeah, this one, let this one talk? Because it would have been nice for the Gotsumon to talk as well, like, oh, I can't take it anymore, I'm falling apart. But we didn't get that. But that's neither here nor there. So they're trying to liberate the Gotsumon from Gogmamon, Gogmamon. You know what? This is a bit of a tongue twister. Gogmamon, yeah? If that's wrong, you guys correct me down below, it's fine. But he's a tyrant. He's this gem tyrant. He's forcing all of the Gotsumon to mine for these rare gemstones, and he's eating the gemstones, and also he's eating the Gotsumon. And you see Mimi's face just get absolutely incensed. She's infuriated by that notion. But leading up to that point, leading up and coming to that point, there was so much comedy between Mimi and Tai, Mimi and Sora, but mainly Mimi and Tai. Mimi is a leader. They even say at the end of the episode, she's such a leader. And the way she's ordering people around is really weird. She's so high up on workplace benefits or a healthy workplace environment, but at the same time, she's this ruthless company executive. It's funny, but it works. Again, this episode isn't it's not just a Mimi story. This is a Mimi training arc. This is preparing us for how Mimi is going to behave in the real world. She's firstly showcasing her leadership skills, her company leadership skills amongst these Digimon, as we saw in the first appearance in 2020 and this second appearance, standalone appearance in Digimon 2020. It's her honing in on her company leadership skills with the Digimon, to which she can then use when she has her own company with a bunch of people, which she can then order around. And I love the fact that Mimi Tachikawa heavily talks about the Tachikawa heavy industries and her grandfather, and she's learning all of these things because of her grandfather. Her grandfather said a company is not just a bunch of workers you work to death. No, you have to treat them like family. You have to treat them really, really well. And why is that important? Because unfortunately, the anime or the animation industry is rife with unfair treatment in the workplace. So could this be a little wink? Could this be a little middle finger to the people who are making the animators overworked? Maybe. Could this be a wink to just a general feeling of why are you treating your workplace, your employees like this? This isn't right. Most definitely, that's what they're trying to do. And Mimi being this, she's such a city girl. She loves capitalism. She can only thrive within capitalism. Her Mimi Kingdom was all about capitalism. So it's nice, it's rare, and it's interesting to see her showcase these values, these family, small company values, and she can apply them to, and she can scale them up to larger companies. This is why in the future, in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, if they ever do this for Digimon, Mimi is going to be the most successful. She's going to be the true hero of Digimon, because in the human world, she's going to be the philanthropist. She's going to be the one that puts food on people's tables because she cares for people, and we see that because she cares for Digimon, and her caring for Digimon allowed her army to go and storm this fortress. And we saw Lilymon vs Gogmamon, and they figure out the weakness. And Tai, I thought to myself, why is Tai even there? Honestly, if this is going to be a Mimi episode, why is he there? And I'm happy that he didn't get involved as much as I feared. And I do expect him to be there because he is the main character and this show is centered around him. But the main thing was Tai was there, and he pointed out, oh, listen, Gogmamon can't digest, he can't buy into the diamond because that's too hard for him. And they used the diamond with Lilymon's flower cannon to defeat Gogmamon. A great way to do it, but there was a lot of reused shots. I didn't like the continuous biting of Gogmamon. It got a bit long, it got a bit stale. I did fear that we're gonna have a somewhat of a repeat from Mimi's previous episode where we had Andromon killing off Gardromon. I thought, okay, oh shit, what if they kill Golemon? Don't do that, please, come on, because I liked him. He was so... He's a reliable employee. That's the best way to say it. He's a reliable employee. And again, the way the comedy was interwoven within this episode took nothing away from it. It took absolutely nothing away from it. It only made it better and better and better. Now, what was the main negative I said earlier? The biggest issue I have about this episode, it's not about this episode, it's about someone else. It's about Matt. If Mimi was so close by, and if they have the Digivices to communicate, where is everyone? Where the hell is Matt? He's been on Garurumon's back for the last 10 episodes. Where is he? What is he doing? He should have been able to meet up with the crew, with Izzy or with anyone else by now. It's a bit... Again, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping when we get the Matt-centric episode, when we get the Joe-centric episode, that they are able to change my perception, my thoughts, my annoyance, like how they changed my annoyance and my misconceptions or preconceptions about Mimi with this episode. What was this episode? This episode was the perfect cool down episode. It was the perfect comedic little snack to cool us down, to lighten the load, to lighten us up in general. It was a great episode, and I hope we get more Mimi episodes like this in the future. And again, she had an army of champions in this episode. In her first appearance in 2020, she had an army of babies. Will we see Mimi have an army of megas or ultimates in the future? Let me know, comment down below, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Take care.